From opening kickoff to the final whistle, every game has a story. Today, we are here to tell it. This is North Country Game Day.
Well, what do you think of that intro? Brand new for our show and for our games. I can't wait to play it more often, especially since I spent several hours trying to create it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new season of North Country Game Day. As you know, my name's Matt Buto, and I am excited not only to introduce our game intro, but I'm excited to be back for another year covering high school sports here in the North Country, where our theme this year will be consistency. And I'll talk a little more about that consistency shortly. But I don't know if you have been outside the past couple of mornings, but fall is in the air, meaning that soccer and field hockey are getting underway. Preseason starts this week for field hockey and soccer. We're looking to cover mostly Burlingame and White Mountains Regional, but throughout the North Country, planning to cover the teams, the athletes, the big games, and the stories that take place, that develop throughout the season. We got returning players looking to build on last year. We have teams looking to build on last year. New faces getting the opportunity, and a whole new season ahead of us. Teams have lost players, they've gained players. But if you know any of these coaches for Burlingame and for White Mountains Regional, they're going to develop and evolve with whatever they have, looking forward to, at the very least, getting into the playoffs. For us, over the next few months, we'll be out there at the fields, bringing you game coverage, again, along with the weekly look at what happened, what's coming up, and most importantly, how our local teams and athletes are doing, how they're playing, and as always, how competitive they are. This year, new for us, we're adding something called Impact Player of the Week. And this will be presented by Impact Consulting, where we will recognize a boy and a girl whose performance has made an impact for their team. It's another way for us to recognize some of the great student athletes we have here in the North Country. So we're going to go with it. I like it. Impact Player of the Week. Impact Consulting is a local business up here in the North Country who is also invested in recognizing and giving shout-outs to our local athletes. So, something new, Impact Player of the Week, presented by Impact Consulting, where each week we'll recognize a boy and a girl whose performance made an impact on their team. Again, another way to offer opportunities for people to recognize and to give shout-outs to local athletes. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. Let's get right into it. Let's start. I'm looking at my sheet. Berlin boys soccer finished last year 9-4-3 7th, which does remind me, pay close attention to the schools, especially their Facebook pages. Things have changed a little for the NHIAA, where we used to be able to go there and find schedules and standings and those types of things. That has changed a little. And without getting into a lengthy discussion, if you will, about it and making it very boring, what I will tell you is that the schools have been doing a great job putting the regular season schedules on their websites and on their Facebook pages. When I say a change, if you utilize NHIAA.org to find out when the schedules are, that's shifting to what they call Arbiter Live, ARB ITER Live. And you can go to Arbiter Live. Again, I don't want to get into a kind of lengthy conversation, but if you have any other questions, give me a shout out at northcountrygameday@gmail.com. But all of the schools have done a great job laying out their preseason schedules and their regular season schedules on their Facebook pages. So you might actually, I think if I go to NHIAA.org right now, last year's results will still be there, but the schools are doing a great job putting their regular season. I saw Gorham and White Mountains Regional put theirs on their Facebook page, and I've communicated well with their teams, families, parents, all the above, and letting them know. Berlin as well. Berlin actually, I believe, shared a file with families. They had one of those little scan things. You can scan your camera and uploads all of the games. So on a side note, that's changed a little bit. But you have many opportunities to find where those games are. And it seems as though Facebook is a good spot for Gorham, Berlin, and White Mountains Regional field hockey and soccer. Speaking of field hockey, speaking of White Mountains Regional, their JV program is back. I am so excited for them. I know that they, over the years, have had 7th and 8th grade over the past year or two. I believe it was last year, though, they didn't have a high school team at all. Now they're back with a JV program, which I think is outstanding to build that program. So we won't talk a lot about JV White Mountains Regional, but what I can tell you is that that program is back, and we might just spend some time talking about them, maybe even covering a game to help them with their program development. So, and it's good news for Berlin field hockey. Although they won't play varsity, they will have an opportunity for the JV team at White Mountains Regional and the Berlin team to play against each other probably a few times, I think, according to the schedule throughout the year. So I'm excited for that, for their program. I'm also excited for Berlin's program, JV program, to have the opportunity to grow a little bit too. So JV field hockey is back at White Mountains Regional. I don't have a lot of details, but I can tell you it is back, and I can tell you that that's a really good start. There might be other details that will come out as I learn a little more, but that is the concrete. Those are the concrete details that I have right now. So yeah, we'll start there. White Mountains Regional with their field hockey program. So let's go from White Mountains Regional field hockey to White Mountains Regional boys soccer, where they're coming off a 5-5-6 season, 6 ties. Finished, I believe, 13th with a first-round loss to Trinity 4-2. There's a lot you can say with that 5-5-6. I don't recall that many ties recently, but if you look and they pull off 6 wins, then you're looking at an 11-5 season. Even 3-3. So it's a quality season. I do know they lose. I can't remember the keeper's first name, but I know it's Foss, and a great kid. His dad's a coach, Coach Foss, Chris Foss. That will be a big loss. Not only a great kid, but a great goalie. And I think he was honorable mention second. I can't remember exactly. But had heck of a season. He's gone actually down at Duke. I know the family. I know Coach Foss, and we're happy for him to be down there and doing his thing. But we're not so happy because we don't have him as a 6-foot, probably plus goalie. So I'm hoping to get Chris Foss. I'm hoping to get all these coaches to sit down and have a conversation with me. I don't have a lot of details, hoping for rosters soon, but I know, as any other team, there'll be gains and losses as far as players go. You'll lose some seniors. You'll gain some freshmen. I can tell you that the group of athletes at White Mountains Regional is outstanding. Now, I know that the golf program down at White Mountains is outstanding as well. So I think there's that route of playing golf and playing soccer. I don't know the details of who decided what, but I can tell you there's a freshman class coming in that has some great athletes. I can tell you that sophomore class has some great athletes as 11th and 12th grade. But for those two classes in particular that I have spent the most time with, so what you'll see is a competitive soccer team, boys soccer team. We'll stay with boys for now with Chris Voss. You'll also see a very competitive golf team. But I'm looking forward to watching both. We'll probably spend more time in soccer, but as always, basketball, baseball, soccer, golf, everything in between, wrestling. You'll see a competitive boys soccer team with a really good coach and a really good group of players, and looking to build on that 5, 5, and 6, maybe switch that, maybe get a couple of those ties in the win column, and getting back into the first round and maybe pulling off a first round victory. So as time goes on, I'll get a copy of the roster, have some conversations with Coach Foss, but looking forward to covering them. Let's go over to girls soccer. From what I gather, Coach Brad Willie will be back at the helm, and he's coming off of a 6-8-2 season, 14th place for the first round loss to Campbell 4-1. You look at those two teams again. When you finish 13th and 14th, you play obviously the stronger team, the higher placed team in the division. So they had decent seasons, but then they had to go play against a number 4 Trinity for the boys and a number 3 Campbell for the girls. That's not easy. So the girls team walks away with a 4-1 loss, first round loss to Campbell. Again, hoping to get more information from all of these coaches, but Brad Willie, I'm sure, is going to build on that team. On that season, and he has an outstanding group of freshmen that are coming in, and freshman, sophomore. Again, I've spent the most time with them, but that is a very good White Mountains Regional girls soccer team. So there you have it, boys, girls, White Mountains Regional Soccer. Willie and Foss at the helm. Looking to come back this season stronger and getting a few more W's on the board and getting into first round playoffs. White Mountains Regional boys, girls soccer, and the JV field hockey team that is back in action. So that covers White Mountains Regional. Let's go over to Gorham. Gorham is coming off of a 10-5-1 season, 7th place with a first round loss to, I believe, Farmington Newt. First round loss 2-1, very close game. Girls soccer did not qualify. They had a 1-12-3 record, didn't qualify for the tournaments, but you'll see both of those programs, especially with Dave Backler. You'll see them continue to grow. Again, not a lot of details yet, but I wanted to get a show out. So what I can tell you is that for sure, 10-5-1 for the boys, number 7 with first round loss to Farmington Newt 2-1, and then girls did not qualify for playoffs at a 1-12-3 record. But looking to build upon those. Once I get more confirmed details, I will share those with the listeners. But for right now, we'll leave it at that. Gorham has, I believe the Gorham boys it wasn't very long ago where they won a championship. I believe a couple years. Now a lot has changed. You have those Gorham teams from a couple years ago. When I say teams, I mean especially soccer and baseball. They've been outstanding. The Saladino boys, the Langua boy. That list goes on and on and on. And those kids played, probably played soccer and basketball and baseball together since they were 3 or 4. That's changed a little bit over the past couple years. But what you'll find is that Gorham has great feeder programs, great coaching, and players that are invested in winning. Soccer team, girls soccer team, has over the past couple years continues to develop. As you can see in their record last year, there is still some more work to do, but you go down there, they always compete, and that's all you can ask. So Gorham soccer boys 10-5-1 coming off the 7th place season with a first round loss to Farmington Newt 2-1, and the girls didn't qualify, but they're looking to, I would say, redeem, but I think just get out there and work hard and see what happens. No field hockey in Gorham. I do know that they have a golf team. I don't have a lot of details. They do have a golf team, or at least they did last year. So that will be interesting to see. I know that Gorham and White Mountains Regional both have golf teams, so we'll see. But that's Gorham. Let's go over to Berlin. Let's start Berlin field hockey. Coach Nikki Arguin, if not the best in the state, one of the best, certainly the best in Division III. But I may be partial because I'm from Berlin, but I'm going to go best in the state, coming off a 13-1-1 first place season with a tough semifinal loss to, I think, number 4, St. Thomas, 2-1 loss, heartbreaker, semifinal loss. But what can you say? They're going to come back just as strong, just as good, and with just as many fundamentals, and a JV program that will benefit from having White Mountains Regional JV program. So I think the past couple of years, if not more, but at least definitely past couple of years, there's been more feeder programs. Got to take a quick drink here because I'm talking a lot, but and don't mind all the rough the paper. I don't know if you can hear that, but just kind of trying to stay on script but go off script, trying to make sure I have all the correct information. But yeah, the feeder programs for field hockey have developed nicely over the past couple of years, and the numbers have been impressive. You always had a summer soccer program and a lot of soccer, but field hockey feeder programs over the past couple of years at least have really grown. And I don't know how Arguin does it, but she manages to get the absolute most out of her players. And when a lot of field hockey programs like White Mountains Regional, they've had to kind of take a step back and have a JV program. Didn't have a program at all last year. Have a JV program, but for Arguin, not only a program, but if you look at those teams, you're looking at a high school team of 22, 23, 24, 25 players on a field hockey team. So impressive, to say the least. And that's, good coaching. And I think she's also coaching with Paul Arguin, who is coaching the JV team. Don't quote me on that. But as always, looking forward to watching that field hockey team win and compete. So that's Berlin field hockey. Let's go over to Berlin boys soccer. 9-4-3 in 2025 with a seventh place finish. Tough first round loss to Fall Mountain 3-2. From if my information is correct, I apologize if it's not, but that was a fun boys team to watch last year. I know they lost a couple or a few key players, Boyd Poulin. There were a couple others, but there is a very strong freshman class coming in, and there's already a strong soccer team there. I'm thinking Krish Patel. There's just there's a lot of quality players, good defense. Their goalie Hayden Bickford is back. So number seven seed, 7th place. First round loss to Fall Mountain 3-2. 9-4-3, and like every other team, you lose some, you gain some. It's going to be a younger team, but I have a lot of respect for Travis Houle at the helm, John Lamb at JV. Probably know most about that team because, one, I live in Berlin, and two, my son will be playing on the team, but I am looking forward to covering that team. And I wonder, 9-4-3 last year, I think the goal is to get into the playoffs, so we'll see. But that's Berlin boys soccer. Berlin. Maybe I need another sip of water. But Berlin girls soccer, coached by Pete Perry. 7-8-1 with a 12th seed finish. First round loss to Hopkinton 7-2. There were times during last season where Berlin was one of the best teams in Division III, and there were times where they weren't. But what I will tell you is that Pete Perry takes every game and learns from it and tries to teach his players. There are times where they, games back to back, or had to travel 2.5 hours one day, and then had to play a game the next day. Injuries for Berlin boys too. So there are a lot of things in that season where that season could have easily been, they had 7-8-1, so it could have easily been 16, 10-6, if I'm reading this correctly. It could have gone either way. I don't know who left and who's coming in, but I can tell you is that fundamentally the girls' soccer teams have been the best they ever have been. That I'm hoping that leads to wins for that team. But what I can tell you is that win or loss, they're going to lose. They're going to learn from that game and go from there. So that's Berlin boys soccer, Berlin girls soccer, and Berlin field hockey. That covers White Mountains Regional, Gorham, and Berlin. I'm hoping that information was all accurate. Working pretty hard. The one-man show here, working pretty hard at providing that coverage. Most importantly, giving the coverage to the teams. Again, we're here. I woke up this morning, not so much this morning, but I woke up this morning, yesterday morning. It was chilly. And so fall's in the air. I don't want to see it go, so I'm not going to say the F word anymore. I might actually, but F word meaning fall. But depending on when you're listening to this, the preseason starts for all three schools on August 17th. 1-a-days, 2-a-days, I don't know. Preseason technically should start for a lot of players much earlier, meaning, kind of getting into that, that game shape, if you will. But I'm excited. We're back for another season where consistency will be key, meaning a game of the week, one show a week, and new this year, this season, an Impact Player of the Week. Thankful to Impact Consulting for providing that opportunity for us. Impact is a local company up here in the North Country, in Berlin actually, where they provide support and guidance for companies looking to develop, looking to evolve, especially companies in the human services. But they've covered everything really, from down in southern New Hampshire to northern Vermont. but they are a outstanding local company here. That's Impact. And they will be having the Impact Player of the Week, another opportunity to cover, recognize, and give a shout out to North Country athletes. I think that's all that I have. I am looking forward. I don't have a schedule yet, but going to take some time to look at the schedule, talk with coaches, see what those games are, what the game of the week might mean or might be. And sometimes this is going to be the game that we're around to be able to cover, but the hope is to make sure that we can provide coverage and get that really good game. I don't know if that's a Kennett and Berlin field hockey team a game. I don't know if that's a Berlin and White Mountains regional soccer game. I don't know if that's a homecoming game. And after talking to the coaches, they might say, you know what, we're looking forward to playing St. Thomas again, or we're looking forward to taking on that Littleton team. So we'll wait and see. But what I can tell you is we're back. Let's get the, should I say, fall season started? I don't know. But let's get it going. Again, I'm Matt Buteau. Hope you liked that intro. And at North Country Game Day on Facebook, at North Country Game Day on YouTube. I'm Matt Buteau. This is North Country Game Day. I cannot wait for the season to start. Let's get it going.